Hello and welcome to Light Your Life. I'm your host, Tina Marie, and I can't wait to dive into today's subject. We're talking about one of my favorite subjects, money. And let's learn how to make money in our sleep. I am so awesomely excited to be talking with Alan Sama. He is the full-time trader and trading coach at Option Genius, which specializes in high probability trading. Alan started his trading once he was laid off from his real job. And ever since then, he got serious when he lost $40,000 of his newlywed wife's savings. We're going to find out more about that. I need to know that story. And since then, he has used what he calls passive trading to be able to make more money in a day than he was able to make in an entire year. If that hasn't gotten your attention yet, I don't know what will. So, Alan, thank you so much for being our guest here today on Light Your Life.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Awesome. I am really curious. You've piqued my interest. Whenever I first learned about you and got your book here, Passive Trading, I was like, we've got to have this guy on. We've got to know your story and your secrets. So thanks for sharing it with us.
No worries.
Cool. So you lost $40,000 of your wife's her savings. You guys were newlyweds, and how'd that come about?
So my wife is a saver. So all through high school, she worked, college, she worked. After that, she got a job as a nurse. So she was making money and basically saving all of it. We got married. And right after that, the job that I was working at, if you remember, we had the big financial crisis, mortgage meltdown, all that stuff happened. Mm-hmm. And so I was unfortunately laid off. And I'm not, as you would say, like a model employee. That was really the only real job I had because I was good at marketing. So they let me get away with a lot of stuff most bosses would not let me get away with.
Yeah.
So it was really a matter of, okay, we just got married. What do we do? Do I go back and get another job, which is probably going to be hard at that time, especially because everything was going crazy. But in my spare time, I was trying to learn how to trade. So, buy, sell, do this, do that. And that's always been, it was always an interest of mine, like you said, to make money, all the different ways to make money. And what are some of the easiest ways? Well, hey, if you can make money in the stock market, it's just pushing a couple buttons and that's pretty easy. So I thought it would be easy. And I was learning about it. And she said, hey, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I really would like to try to make a go at this. I think I can do it. Seems easy enough. Let me go for it. So she goes, all right. So I took the money that she had saved and, she would go to work. And in fact, she actually got 2 jobs to support us. She got a second job.
She needs a gold medal.
Yeah, for sure. And then, I would be working and trading during the daytime and then watching the financial news and watching all the financial shows till late at night. And, stress levels going up and up because the account value is going down and down. I really couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. I did everything you could think of. I read books and, bought courses and went to seminars and everything that they tell you to do. I was trying, but there was just nothing was working. And then there was this, one day when she came home and she actually checked the mail. Now, normally I go and I don't want her to see the statements, right? Because I was, how you doing, honey? How was great? I was like, yeah, it was good today. Yeah, I'm trying to, it's only been like 3 months or so. and I was already down significantly. So she checked the mail and she came home and she saw it and she had it in her hand. Ooh. She didn't even say anything and she's just looking at me and I'm like, oh no.
Like that proverbial woman with her hand on her hip looking at you, right?
Yep. And I mean, it almost cost us the marriage. But I made a promise to her, like, hey, look, just give me a couple more months. I'll change it. I'll make it better and we'll fix it.
So that lit a fire under you and something changed?
Yeah, that's when it got real. That's when it got like, oh my God, if I don't do this now, because up till now it was comfortable. She was working. I didn't have to work. I'm just sitting in my pajamas, playing keyboard, playing trader, and pretending like I was actually doing something when I wasn't. Every time I would lose money, I'd be like, oh, I learned a lesson. Yeah, I learned a lesson. No, I was just losing money.
Justifying it, right?
Yes, exactly. So, and that's what lit me a fire and said, okay, now I got a deadline. Now I got to make sure I got to do this work. And so I went through everything that I had done, all the trades I've done. I was like, I got to find some, maybe I did something right. Let me see. And there was this one trade that I did
Right.
that I had put on, and I had totally forgotten about it. And I just put it on. It was something new that I found out about. I tried it and it worked. And I didn't even know that it worked, and it made money. And so I'm like, what is this? Where did this trade go? It just disappeared. It wasn't even there anymore. And then I realized that it was a
Wow.
trade that dealt with options, and it was a very conservative
Mhm.
strategy. And so I looked more into it, and I'm like, whoa, I could do this. This is simple. This is easy.
Mm.
And it
So you
doesn't.
look for what was working. Yeah,
Mhm.
you look for what was working, and then you looked at the pattern and you said, let's investigate this and try this even more.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody's different, and everybody has, they have different strengths and weaknesses and risk tolerances. And for me, I learned that, when it comes to picking direction of the stock market, I'm not good at that at all. You're going to ask me, hey, what's this stock doing tomorrow? I'm like, I don't know. It could be anybody's guess. But this particular strategy allowed me to not have to pick which direction it was moving. And I actually later on learned on
Hmm.
that these strategies are used by large hedge funds and multi-billionaires like Warren Buffett and Mark Cuban and all these guys, that they have learned this stuff from others, and they pay and they learn all these information and they are using it. So I'm like, wait a minute, why am I using the same stuff? So that's what I really made my life study about, to learn how to do this. And since then, it's been incredible. It's been an amazing ride. And then a few years after I got really good at it, then I started showing other people what I was doing, and they were blown away. And then
Hmm.
it was just a matter of, Alan, teach us what you're doing. Just teach us what you're doing. Can you show us what you're doing? And then that's how, the book came about, and all this stuff happened. So now we're out there
That's
and
pretty
we're
awesome.
spreading the word about what passive trading is. And it's changing lives, actually, literally. So I'm really
That's
blessed.
awesome. So I'm so glad you're here. As entrepreneurs, some people think that it's an overnight success. And what I hear is that you went through your own years of struggle. And because of that, now you can share a shortcut of what to do precisely with your audience through the
Hmm.
book and through the courses that you have. And so, how many years was it? So, just let us know what's that from the time you started with your options trading or learned about it till now. What are we looking at?
I would say it's probably been about 15 years, 15 to 16
That's
years.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you're able to shortcut that for the people that follow you. And now that you're a mentor and coach too, and
Hmm.
allow them to take those hard days and hard nights that you had at the very beginning. And that way they can learn how to do it and be more effective and efficient in a shorter time frame.
Yes. Yeah. I've
That is
taken all the
absolutely awesome.
mistakes that I've made. Like, don't do this. I did this. Check this out. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. And it takes it either somebody has to show it to you, or you have to go
Mhm.
through and make those mistakes, which it takes a long time, because you're not taught that. There's other people out there that are talking, and you don't know exactly why they're saying what they're saying. And then
Mhm.
later on you figure it out, like, oh yeah, this wasn't exactly meant for me, but I tried to use it and it didn't work. So
Awesome. So
it can be confusing.
where do people start with investing? I mean, I know you mentioned the stock market, and then you said that's not the avenue that you ultimately went with. You went with options. And so where do people start investing in your program or under your tutelage?
So there are different ways to do it, and you can do it with only stock options, or you can layer in stocks and then layer in options as well. So in our passive trading program, we start at the very beginning, at the very basic level, and we say, hey, you need a foundation. So stocks would be a good foundation for you, especially good, stable stocks like dividend paying stocks, companies like McDonald's and Starbucks and Pepsi or Coca-Cola. They've been around for 100 years,
Mhm.
probably not going anywhere. So you have something that's just going to pay you dividends and hopefully appreciate over the years. Then we layer in options to that, and then we sell options. And basically what we can do is we can cash flow these stocks. So you know how you have a rental property and you rent it out to somebody and they send you a rent check?
Right.
Well, we're doing the same thing with the stocks. So I have all these stocks, and every month I sell an option against the stock, and I get paid several $100s for each one that I sell. And that's just income coming in every month. And there's two different strategies that we use against to do that. And then there's another third strategy that we add on top of that, which really boosts our returns considerably higher. So between the four strategies, dividend paying stocks, selling calls, selling puts, and then selling spreads, we can average anywhere from 6, 7 to 10, 12% per month in returns.
Wow, that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. So, I mean, most people are saying, oh yeah, I can do 8% in an index fund, or, just put my money in an index fund. That's great. That's a great place to start.
Mm-hmm.
But if you learn these strategies, you can cash flow your index fund. And
Whoa.
making 1 to 2% a month just from doing that it's child's play. It's really just, learn it. You can learn it maybe in a half an hour a day maximum, and then you'll be able to do it every single month. And the way I do it in my retirement accounts, I mean, it takes me maybe 30 minutes a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put the trade on, and then I don't even look at it for a month. And then I'll look at it again. Hey, do I need to do anything? Yes, no. And then I'll do it again. And then it just continues. So it's a very conservative way. It's a very safe way.
That. Yeah.
And it's just consistent. It's every month you own the stock, you keep the stock. We don't want to sell the stock. We want to keep getting those dividends. We want to keep the asset that we have, but we want to cash flow from it every month, coming over and over and over again. And some of the students that have more time, you can actually cash flow every week. So there are weekly options that you could use, and they expire every 7 days, and you can make more that way than doing the monthly ones.
And I was going to ask about, people's risk tolerance. So often whenever you're working with an investor, I know my investment coach, he asked me, what is your risk tolerance in the market? What do you want to have your money do for you? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And in what time do you want to bank that money, utilize that money in the future? And you mentioned retirement account. So there's different plays with the money. You could utilize the stocks, I guess, and the options to have that cash flow that comes into your household now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have that cash flow that's building for that time in the future, which would be retirement. How does this work with different risk portfolios or the tolerances anyone would have on risk and their money?
So we've built it in a way that we can tailor it to the risk. So in one of our other programs that we have, it's called the Passive Trading Formula, which goes into a lot more detail than the book does. But the first thing you do is you take a personality test to see what your personality is like, so we can match it to other investors that are doing well to see how you fit. And then you take a risk tolerance test to see, exactly what is your risk tolerance. And we have people that run the gamut. So if somebody is a lot more conservative, what they can do is place safer trades. So every option that we sell, we can mathematically, statistically tell what is the probability of profit on that option. So we use statistics, and there's a Nobel Prize winning economist that came up with this formula about how to actually tell what is the probability that a particular option will make money or not.
Wow.
And so if you're more conservative, then you can choose anywhere up to like 90%. So every trade I do has a 90% chance of winning. Compared to a stock, if you buy a stock, it's 50-50. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down.
Yeah.
But with these options, you can actually tailor it. So if you're more aggressive, you can go to 80%. You can go to 75% if you want to. Some people go to 70%. I wouldn't recommend going less than 70% if you wanted to keep it in a passive way. But if you have more time to do it, then you can get a little bit more aggressive. And then the returns are just, like I mentioned, 5 to 10% a month. If you go a little bit more aggressive, you can make 20%, 25% a month. We have some students that are doing it that way. So the returns, like you said, it's either can be done, all of these strategies can be done in a retirement account, in an IRA, or they can be done in your regular trading account. And then you can just take the money out every month to do whatever you want with it, or just leave it in there and compound it.
That's awesome. And so let's do some 101 nomenclature or some language here. For those people that don't understand what an option is, help us understand the difference between an option and we mentioned stocks.
Okay, so an option is tied to a stock. So let's say we're talking about Apple, right? For every 100 shares of Apple, you can have one option. And there are two different types of options. So there's puts options and call options, and both of them, they work the opposite. Normally, if you want the stock to go up, if you think the stock is going to go up, you would buy a call option, which is cheaper than buying the stock. So it's less money invested when you're buying it, but there's not a good chance that you will make money with it. So basically, if you've listened to any kind of advertisement or whatever about options trading, they talk about, oh, you can make thousands of dollars, you can make 10 times your money, you can double your money. Those guys are all talking about buying options, which is basically a gambler's move. It's very speculative. So yes, if you think the stock is gonna go up, you buy a call option, and if the stock does go up, yeah, you could make money. You could double it. But there are many ways that it could not work out. The odds are actually against you. So, because you have to be right on the move, it has to go up like you'd predicted. You have to know when it's going to go up, because all of these options, they expire. They have a time limit on them. So if it doesn't go up and your option expires and then it goes up, well, you were right, but you still lost your money. Right? And then you have to know how much it's going to go up as well. So that's the hardest one. It's like, is it going to go up 2%, 5%, 10%? You don't know. So that's why what we do is we sell options. So that way I don't care if the stock is going to go up or if it goes down, if it goes sideways. All I need to know is where the stock is not going to go. So let's say Apple is trading at $100, right? Is it going to go to $150 in the next month? That's a 50% rise. Probably not. Chances are against it. So maybe I'll sell that option up there. So as long as it stays below $150, I win. I make money.
And so there's a market for these, obviously, in the marketplace, because you wouldn't be able to sell something if there's not a demand for it. Exactly. So there's a demand for puts or no calls. Sorry, calls.
For both, yeah.
That are that 150 in this particular example of Apple, right?
Yep. And so what Warren Buffett does, he sells puts. So puts are opposite of calls. If you buy a put and the stock goes down, then you make money. So these large hedge funds, they have, millions and billions of dollars of stock. They want to hedge themselves. They want to protect themselves. So they will buy these put options and they'll pay for it as an insurance premium.
I was going to say, this sounds like insurance.
Exactly. For them, it is insurance. So they will buy all these puts. And if the stock market drops and all their stocks drop, then they're okay. They're hedged because they have this put insurance. But now let me ask you, you have car insurance, you have life insurance. Do you ever want to use it?
No, never.
No, right? Because that means something bad happened.
Yeah.
So it's the same with these guys. They don't want the insurance to pay off. And there's a very small probability that this insurance will pay off for them, but they have to have it. So people like me, we are willing to sell them the insurance. So every month we go in and we see, okay, what am I comfortable with? And that trade, I will make it if I can get the right payment. So like I said, Warren Buffett, he uses this strategy in a little bit different way. He decides, hey, I want to buy Apple stock, but it's trading at $100 right now. I don't want to pay $100 for it. I wanted to buy it at 80. I want a discount. So then he'll go and he'll sell the $80 put option. If Apple goes down to 80, he's happy to buy it at 80. If Apple does not go down to 80, that option that he got paid for expires. It goes away, and then he keeps the money for that option. And then he'll sell another one.
That's
so every month he's getting paid to wait for the stock to drop to his price.
And so it's also like an alert system, I guess. It's like telling you, here's your stock now. It's made that. And so whenever that put happens, or that call, that was a put. I got him confused. Then there's like a purchase that's actually going to automatically go in.
You can if that's the plan. Yes.
If you want to take ownership of that stock. Awesome.
Yep. And then there's also strategies where they have no stock at all. It's only the option. So like I said, with I go back to our Apple trade, if I think Apple's trading at $100 and I don't think it's going to go to 150, I could do what's called a spread trade with only the options. So a spread is a limited risk trade where you're selling one option and you're buying another one. So you know exactly what your loss is going to be before you get into the trade. Whatever the worst case scenario happens, you know exactly how much you're going to lose, how much you're going to make. And so that one we play with the same way. We go very far away from where it's trading, have the odds definitely in our favor, 80, 90% probability that this trade is going to work out. And it's just another method of generating cash flow. So you can do that if you don't have enough money to buy all the shares. So those trades can be done with as little as $500.
I was going to ask how much money are we talking about here to get started?
Yeah. So most of the brokers, when they approve you for options trading, they will look for at least $2,000 to $3,000 in your trading account. I would always suggest to anybody starting out, every broker has a virtual trading program. It's like real trading, but with fake money. So they give you like $100,000. So I would say go in and do these type of trades to learn them and pretend like you're doing it for real. Once you get the hang of it, then you can go in and decide how much money you want to put in and how much money you would need.
That's awesome. Have you ever been in that place where you did the fake money and the monopoly money trades and then you went, wow, I wish this was real?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did really good.
Yep. But I mean, right now, I don't know how long the current economy is going to handle the way, but in the stock market, at least I know, 2020 was really hard for a lot of people. 2021 is continued getting better, but for the stock market, for us as traders, as option sellers, I mean, it's been phenomenal. It's been amazing.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
So right now is a really amazing time to learn this stuff and to get in. And really, I look at it as when we talk about retirement, my goal always was to retire early. Other people, they have a goal. Yeah, I'm going to retire when I'm 65. So why don't you want to retire early? Well, what does that look like? How do I do that? Because we're told by all these retirement advisors that you take your money, you work hard, you save your money, you give it to an expert, and then they grow it, and then once it's at a big enough nest egg, then you can retire and you live off 4% or whatever of that amount, and you be happy with that amount. But most of the boomers that are out there right now, they don't even have enough saved for retirement. And it's really heartbreaking situation. We talked to somebody in the office yesterday, a wonderful couple in their 70s. They only have $20,000 to their name.
Whoa.
And, the husband is desperate. He's like, I need to get some money, and other people say, well, why don't you go get a job? He can't work. They're not physically capable of working. They have some issues and he has to take care of her and all that stuff. And it's just heartbreaking that the retirement system, the way it's set up now, is letting so many people fall through the cracks. And then there's Social Security and stuff, but pensions are going away. Most of the companies that we work for now, they're all expecting us to take care of our own funds and retirements. So that's why I've always okay, how do we get to retirement sooner? Well, if you can make enough money every month as you are spending, well, then you're home free. So that's where
that freedom that we're all looking for.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to get all my customers to is okay, hey, how much money do you need to survive every month? How do we get you there so that you can use options and sell options as cash flow to get that money out and just live off of it and be retired? So we do have a lot of people who are already retired and they're like, yeah, I just need, a couple grand a month. And they take the more conservative strategies. And then there's others who want to retire early and they're like, okay, I need to be a little bit more aggressive because I want to retire faster. And if, I'm younger, so I can handle it. It's okay.
That's amazing.
So a lot of people, and people ask, oh, do I have to do this full time? It's like, no, you can do it in
you said you were doing 30 minutes a month there.
Yeah. So, I mean, depending on the strategy, it'll change a little bit, but the basic strategies, yeah. I mean, 30 minutes a month. If you're somebody like me who, you might want to check in more often because I'm interested in it. So I check, you can check in every day and be like, oh, how's my trades doing? And you don't really have to do anything most of the time. So, a 5-minute check during the day is good enough.
That's amazing. So we are talking with Alan Sama, and he is the lead coach and founder of Option Genius. And I want to tell you the website. You're going to go over to his website and you're going to find out about his courses. I'm going to ask you a couple questions about those, Alan, in a second. So it's optiongenius.com. You can also find Alan on Facebook, and that is your Facebook handle, I guess, as we'd say, would be Alan Sama.
Yep.
And so they could find you out there. And then also you have this book, which I have a copy of. And in all honesty, I love that you did really big print. I love it because one, I'm over 50, and it's not so intimidating. there's a lot in here. You give us great advice and great links and other resources to help us digest this and not feel, in my case, there's a time in our life we think I should know this by now, or am I diving into something that's going to be overwhelming? You really make it easy and applicable, and you have a gracefulness about yourself and educating us. Thank you so much.
No, I do my best. I've been in that shoes where it's like, what's just going on? What is all this stuff?
Can you dumb it down for me?
Yep.
I love it. And you also have the Option Genius podcast.
Yes,
tell us about your podcast.
So we've been doing that for a couple of years now. We just crossed, I think, 100 episodes. So really excited about that. And, it's been a lot of fun doing it. And sometimes most of the episodes, I'm just me talking about different aspects of trading. And what we found out is that trading is 80% mental, 20% doing the stuff.
Okay.
So doing the stuff, I can teach you, you can read the book, take a course. That's easy. The mental part is where it gets really hard. So that's what I focus on the podcast. And we talk about different strategies as well. I bring on some of our students that are doing really well, or other traders that are doing really well, to see what they're doing and what's going on, how the markets are working. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing that. And hopefully we'll plan on continuing it, but I haven't been as regular as I'd like to be.
Yeah, it takes dedication, discipline. I know with this podcast, it's an every week thing. We're actually recorded all the way out till the end of the year. So
awesome.
Yeah. And so it took a lot of, dive in, make it happen. And that's with anything we do. You're listening here and we're talking about money and how you can make passive income. I love that you say even while you sleep. So it's because the market's working for you and you're pushing the buttons, right?
Yep.
With your education and Option Genius to help your students understand what to do and how to know how to do it, and the mentality of it, the mental aspect of it. And once you have that all set up, then you get to watch.
Yep. Because I don't know if I connected the dots enough, but I mentioned that the options have an expiration date, right? So when you sell it, let's say you get $200 for an option, every day that goes by, there's less of a chance for that option to go against you. And so it's worth less and less and less. So literally it is, while you're sleeping, market is closed, that option is losing value, even though there's less risk. There's no risk. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait to dive in more and learn more from you. Thank you for doing all the hard work and thank you for losing, because from that we learn, right? You learn and now you're taking your lessons and helping us not have to make the same mistakes you made early on. This is awesome.
No problem. I mean, if you're sorry, I was just going to mention that you showed the book earlier.
Yeah.
We wanted to give all of your listeners a free copy of the book. So it is a printed book. If they go to passivetrading.com, we'll send them, just like the word, just like the name says, passive trading. We'll send them a free copy of the book. We'll print it out. We just ask that they pay shipping and handling. So if they can cover, the couple bucks for that, we'll send out a free copy, and they can. There's a lot of stuff in there, including there's a couple of examples that people don't even believe. There's like, there are stocks that I owned that went down, but I still made money on them. They're like, how does that happen? Well, it's in the book.
That was my mind just blowing up on that thought. Okay, so it's passivetrading.com, and you simply go there and there's directions, and you help guide them on how they can get their copy of your book, Passive Trading by Alan Sama. That's awesome. How many students do you have that have come through your course?
So since we started in 2009. We have probably helped over 50,000 people in one way or another.
Awesome.
But the ones like, one of the things that I've wanted to do for a while is to come up with like an award. So we're working on that right now, where, hey, if somebody has made at least $100,000 trading our way, or made 100% in a year, so they double their money, we're going to give them one of these awards. And we have well over 30 or 40 people that, off the top of my head, I know qualify for this award.
Oh, how fun.
So yeah.
I love it. You're keeping it interesting, because I could see like the analytical types just stay in front of their computer and watching stuff. We need to engage. We're a community of people that want to win.
Yep.
This is so cool. I've loved talking to you today. And I hope everybody listening here at Light Your Life goes over to optiongenius.com. Learn more about Alan, his program, his book. Get your free copy of the book. Why would you not do that? So simply go to passivetrading.com, get your free copy of the book, and dive in. I also love that you stimulated our thinking that the way that we would typically think retirement's going to happen is in a fragile state. And we need to really take control of our future money making. And why not start right now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you again, Ellen, for being our guest here on Light Your Life. It's always a great pleasure to learn more about wonderful people like yourself that have done this for us and are making it easy.
Yeah. Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.